It's amazing.
It's funny.
It's amazing. It's very
actually
funny.
a funny sketch.
Yeah. So is this a sketch that is opening up comedy to do things? Is this a sketch about a gay couple being able to how do I say this? Is this a sketch that shows us that things are changing and political correctness is going away? Mm-hmm. Or is this a way to mainstream gay couples having a baby and adopting a baby? That's the argument that I've read.
Really?
Yes, there's been, and I think it's more of the first, but there are people that are saying, no. Don't be fooled. Oh, God. John Roberts has a plan.
No one lets you have any fun anymore. God, can you just laugh at a sketch? Again, that doesn't
It's
make...
very funny.
So I don't think, honestly, it makes much of a point either way to encourage or discourage gay parenting or anything like that. What it is it's pointing out a very obvious thing, which is there is tension around saying something blatantly obvious, and there shouldn't be.
Yes.
And by the way, one of the guys in the sketch is gay. In
Which
real
one?
life,
He wasn't wearing a
John Hamm. No, the other guy is gay, and,
oh my gosh.
and he's talking.
I didn't see the marking on his clothes.
I know, it's shocking. I don't know why they allowed John Hamm to culturally appropriate the gay role.
Why
there.
he couldn't?
Just pointing that out.
Maybe he slept with somebody.
Maybe he did to justify the appearance.
Yeah.
But like all that is we. This is an uncomfortable thing to say, and it is a thing that society has made uncomfortable, and they're saying it out loud. That is the basics of comedy.
And they're saying you can't say that.
Right.
You
they're
can't
noticing
question.
how bizarre it is that you can't question it.
Correct.
When every single person on earth is aware that asking, hey, where did the baby come from, to two men is a reasonable question, because, of course, two men can't produce a baby by themselves.
Especially if you didn't have one or talked about it the night before.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be, it's where the comedy is.
Two gay men cannot have a baby by mistake. That's a really good point.
You think that's signaling a change? I think a lot of companies put all of their chips on the table betting it's going this way. I think you'll see if Donald Trump is successful and you keep the Republican Congress and the Senate, and a Republican is voted in as president in the next election, I think you're going to see massive change. Right now, I don't think you look at any of the changes like this and think it's anything but hedging your bet.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think anybody is woken up and went, oh my gosh, we were so wrong. We were canceling speech. And that's not what comedy is. I don't think anybody was waking up to that. I think at best, maybe some did, but at best, it's the group saying, this is not going to work. And we don't want to be on the wrong side of which way this falls out. Let's just go make fun of things that we made fun of. No harm, no foul. And without articulating this, if it turns around, we're right back where we were.
Yeah, and I don't think that you're going to start seeing all these conservative things going on Saturday Night Live. The point is that can you find comedy wherever it is? We went through a period, I think, through the Barack Obama era and into the woke, Biden era, where you basically weren't allowed to find comedy in things that were funny.
Oh no,
and that's always been the way that comedy's worked.
It went for Clapter for years,
and it still is on a lot of shows.
Oh, I know. It's for over a decade. Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel, is doing that still. Seth Meyers, what's
and
his face, Colbert.
They'll be dustbin of history.
Yeah,
those guys will be. Because
I don't think that's going away per se.
No, but it's not going to be as mainstream as it was or tolerated like it was.
It's boring.
You see what's happening to Snow White. Disney is still doubling down. So Disney is still going, we're going that way. Okay, well, go ahead. Here's what I find fascinating about this is that the left, those like Disney who are continually doubling down, Disney has always been the number one storytelling company, right?
Sure.
And what is it that the right does horribly for forever in my lifetime? Tell stories. We're not good storytelling people. We, just conservatives, they capture the heart. We try to capture the mind. And you got to go to the mind through the heart. And so that's how they can move so many mountains that we just can't seem to move, because they're good at storytelling. What are they doing now? Look at the Christian movies and how good they are. Okay? They're fantastic now. Not all of them, but some of them are really, because they're just telling a story. Have you seen House of David? You've been watching that at all?
No.
It's unbelievable.
Is it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And I don't feel preached at. I don't feel anything except that's a great story. Okay. And you don't have to believe the Bible to look at it and say, it's a great story. It's not screaming at you, and this is true, and you'll burn in hell if you don't buy every single word of it. It doesn't do that. That's what Christian movies used to do. It's so fascinating to me that right now we're learning the lesson that no matter how hard people screamed at Christian movie making people, they never seem to get it. I want to bring my friend to go see this. I want my friend to experience a moment where they're just filled with the love of God. But if you beat them over the head with it, they're never going to. How many times did you ever take a friend to a movie because you really wanted to see them and you were trying to, help them find a path or whatever, and everybody said, oh, you got to bring your friend to this, and so you did, and then you're sitting like 5 minutes in and you're like, oh, dear God. And you just want to look at your friend and go, I'm sorry, because this is so transparent that it is just trying to make these guys look bad, and that's, you might actually hold that point of view, but you're not like that. You're not like that. And all the people that believe differently, don't believe in God, are not all of a sudden in work for Satan. You know what I mean? And we just beat people over the head. And now suddenly we've gotten it, and we've learned how to tell great stories. And so now what's growing like crazy? God stuff, religious programming. And it's just because it's good. It's a good story, and they've left the preaching for Sunday. And what's happened? Look at Snow White. It's all about a message. You don't even think about Snow White anymore. You think about what everything means in that movie. Don't you understand what that means? Well, I know, you'll probably miss it. That's why Snow White tells you exactly what that means, off screen and on screen. And they just beat you over the head with it. And they're failing. I find it fascinating that we've switched places. Because for them, it should be easy to see. Somebody should be sitting in a boardroom at Disney going, hey, wait. Remember all those Christian movies that we used to make fun of because they were so bad because they were all just about messages? And they made decent people who just disagreed look like they were in league with Satan? Remember that? And we used to make fun of it. Has anybody noticed here at the table, we've become those people?
Do those conversations even happen? I wonder. I mean, you'd think it would happen. I think there has to be people who agree with those types of questions. Whether they have the bravery to say it in those meetings is another question.
Because look, what was it? The message was more important than money. Mm-hmm. Okay? And that's the way Christians used to be. They would be like, no, we have to get this message out. You'd be like, but nobody's coming to come and watch this movie. Yes, but if we can only get one person to understand, wouldn't it be better to get millions of people to come in and hope maybe we could save a handful of them?
Yeah, open their minds a little bit.
Just open their minds a little bit. And the next movie, open their mind a little bit.
Right. Maybe 25 conversations down the road, something good happens. Who knows?
Just plant the seed.
This is one of course, the miracles of the market. By the way, it doesn't require you to be a good person. It doesn't require you to have the best intentions. No. Oftentimes, it leads to really good conclusions anyway. And by the way, speaking of that, we've been talking about The King of Kings, the movie from Angel Studio, which is out right now.
How'd that do?
Number 2 at the box office, only behind Minecraft, which is one of the biggest movies of all time. I mean, it's going to wind up with, it's already $300 million at the box office. King of Kings they did $20 million in the first week. And of course, this is Easter weekend. This is when I'm going to see it this weekend with the kids. I'm
going to go and see it just to support. I mean, I've seen it. I just want to go and support it.
Yeah, for sure. I think there is part of that, right? But like they always try to demean some of these things. Well, these are message movies, and people are they're buying tickets, and then they're buying tickets for other people. And there are people that do that. You can do that at angel.com/Stu. You can go there and you can actually check. I want to pay it forward for other tickets. That's great if you want to do that. But these are just movies that people like and are interested in and enjoy.
Yeah, you don't get to be number 2.
Yeah.
You might get to be number 2, but next weekend you'd be off the charts because the word of mouth would be so bad. And the word of mouth on King of Kings is great.
Yeah, still number 2 even yesterday. And it's increasing because of, obviously the tide of Easter helps, but it's a good movie that people really like. And that's much more important than, some purity test, where you're going to wind up wasting millions of dollars on a movie that nobody cares about.
Look at what happened with the Mel Gibson movie. What was the one? It was in
Passion of the Christ?
Yeah, Passion of the Christ. The whole thing was in Aramaic. Like 4 people on the earth speak Aramaic. But it was such powerful storytelling that it just cleaned house at the box office. And it wasn't just 1 week or 2 weeks. It went on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to watch and see how we're now finding ourselves in the driver's seat with storytelling, and they're still out in the parking lot kicking rocks going, what the hell just happened? Why did Snow White fail? I actually hope they don't catch on for a while. Let's get some space in between us before they catch on.